Hello, viewers. It's another interesting session today on life and relationship realities with Tolu Alabi. You're welcome. And so today we're going to be wrapping up the session that we actually started talking on intimacy in relationship. Intimacy in relationship. I talked about so many things that I touched different area and aspect of intimacy in relationship. I talk about the relationship of the meaning of intimacy. I talked about intimacy in your mind, like your soul coming together as one for husband and wife. I talked a lot about that. I talked about intimacy. Last week we talked about physical intimacy. That's intimacy that has to do with touching, have to do with sex, have to do with a lot of those things. We talked about it. And so today, I just want to answer a few questions. Like I always say, you can always send a message to us. You can always send your question to us. I just want to put so if you want to ask anything, please, on life and relationship issues, you can write. If you don't want your name to be mentioned, actually, I don't mention people's name. It's highly confidential. And so nobody knows who is who. Sometimes you think, oh, if I put out my issues out there, people are going to know that it's me. Or you'll be shocked that a million people are going through exactly what you're going through. So today I'm going to be answering those few questions. I want to start with this one. The man said, I believe he's a man, because he said, my wife is having problems with sex. I've tried everything, but she's not responding. What do I do? When I saw that, I didn't know if I was going to talk about it or not, especially as the first question. I want to say to that man, you've not tried everything. And moreover, it's not just your problem. I keep saying all the time. I said, whatever problem you have in relationship, in your marriage, is not just one person's problem. It is the problem for both of you, because if it's success also, both of you get to enjoy the success. So if it's challenges, then it's about both of you. And so I want to say to that man, don't give up. And I wish I could talk to that woman, directly, to tell her to say that she needs to make effort. I've seen there was a situation I saw some years back. I mean, that's been a long time ago. That was a long time ago that this happened. The woman actually was believing God for the fruit of the womb. They couldn't have a baby, and they waited for like 3 years. She wanted to start having family immediately after they got married. That was their plan. And then it didn't happen the first year, and she was really so disturbed. Even after 6 months, she was already going to see the doctors, and they were like, oh, just give it a year. Please try to relax, enjoy your relationship, enjoy your marriage, enjoy sex between both of you without the anxiety of, I want to get pregnant. And that was the thing. I mean, she would disturb the husband all the time, sex. And the man didn't realize that much, that this was about having a baby. But maybe for her, maybe not much of just having a baby though. But they were having their good time as newlywed couple, enjoying sex, the moon, there was still honey on the moon, whatever. So they were enjoying themselves. And then the second year, and it continued the same thing. And towards the end of the third year, she got pregnant. And that was when the trouble started. The moment she was confirmed pregnant, she started, like moving away from her husband with sex. And eventually I got to know about the situation. Both of them came for counseling and everything like that. She was pregnant then. She was heavily pregnant, and she was using that as an excuse to say, oh, I'm even heavily pregnant, and she still want to have sex. And I said, what is wrong in being heavily pregnant and still having sex with your husband? There's nothing absolutely wrong. You're going to know how to do what you want to do, but it's not a no thing. It's a yes situation. I talk with her confidentially, and so on like that, and I advised her on some things that she should do. So this woman that the husband is saying she's having problem with sex, he didn't specify what kind of problem is having. Sometimes when a woman is seeing a period, or when a woman is pregnant, or when a woman has just had a baby, sometimes the want for sex reduced, the urge for sex is highly reduced. Sometimes hormones come into play, some situation. And like I said last week, when a woman is troubled, it's not sex that she wants at that particular time. She wants comfort. She wants someone being by her side. She wants her husband telling her, oh, this is going to come to an end. Things are going to be okay. She needs that at that particular time. Not unfortunately, but on the other side, sometimes when a man is stressed, the man wants sex. The man wants the sex to calm down, but that's not the same thing for women, because we're created differently, and so the husband needs to know what is happening. At what point did she start having problem with sex? If a man is abusing his wife, she's definitely know sex is not going to appeal to a woman that is not happy. So you need to know what's her state of mind. Because sex for a woman it's a mind thing. It's not just a body thing. So the husband needs to calm down, maybe bring in a counselor, bring in someone that can be of help in that area. And I want to say to some women are actually, there are medical reasons, why some women don't want to have sex. That there are certain medical conditions. So you may need to see your doctor you may need to see your primary healthcare doctor to know exactly what to do in the case of such situation. And then I always say to other people, if you're not having issues, you're not having stress, you're dealing with stress. I mean, nobody's going to say I'm not having stress. We all deal with stress. So if you're dealing with stress, if a woman, you're having sex with your husband, when you get back from work, you may want to shower in the night. There's this body works, there's this aromatic body wash that they have. I said it last week, there's one that is anti-stress and so on like that. When you shower with such thing, it relaxes your body as a woman. And then you're having difficulty, maybe you married as a virgin, or maybe you're not just feeling the love, and so you're not feeling the thing. You may want to use lubricant. The husband may want to be more patient, do a little bit of foreplay before you actually eat the main menu. You may want to start that first. You can go around you. Just let the woman be relaxed and be happy. And then as a woman, I always say, life is about sacrifice. Marriage is about sacrifice. When it has to do with sex, averagely, an average husband will want more than an average wife. I said average because sometimes it's not exactly like that. Sometimes it can even be the opposite, but the thing is, sacrifice is the thing. If your husband wants, you cannot, it's not fair for you to keep saying no, 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 no. That's not fair. So you may want to deal with whatever it is that is happening, and don't use sex in marriage for more like a kidnapping situation around something to say, oh, if you don't do this, we're not going to have sex. That's not the way to go about it. When marriages are having problem, one of the first things I ask the couple is their sex life. And then you start hearing, all the stories that comes with it. So that white woman, man, I want to say to you, please don't give up. And that shouldn't be an excuse for you to do wrong things, because that is not happening. So work it out, talk about it, go for counseling, go to your pastor, go to a medical doctor. That could be of help. I've had situation like that, good afternoon, my sister Bola Sholanke. You know, I've had situation like that, when I first had my first baby, and then I just went to an elderly woman in the church that I respect so much. And I said, this is what is happening. My husband is the man of God, man of the word. But then, and then she advised me on the things to do. And I started studying as I went on Google to check on things, and then I was able to find help that I needed. I use there's this soap from Forever Living product. The soap was yellow, I think yellow or green in color. And then when you shower with it, oh my goodness, as a wife, you are the one that will be disturbing your husband. So you may want to try it. And then last week, I talked about this thing, ginseng, that is a Chinese herb. It's very good. It comes with some vitamins, some product, some multivitamins, and so on comes with it. It helps a woman, to also get ready. But make sure as a woman, if you're taking it, don't give too much to your husband so that you can be at peace. The next question said, I love to touch my husband just to relax. Each time I touch him, he wants sex. He's not caring and doesn't care about love language. He said Africa does not have love language. I'm going to say to that man, it is a lie. Whether you're African, whether you're European, whether you're American, whether you're Canadian, wherever you are, love language cuts across, it cuts across boundaries. So love language is there. Even in the olden days in Africa, the men may not know, how to bring flowers to them. They don't even bring flowers. Everybody bring what they have in their place. We have beautiful gift too in Africa. Somebody is buying you a wrapper, somebody's buying you a lace, somebody's buying you beautiful things, It's all part of it. It's the same thing as somebody giving flower in America, so maybe for an African woman, averagely, you may not give flower. It does not mean flower is not the only way to show love anyway. A gift is a gift, whether it's flower, whether it's somebody writing a check, yeah, that sounds better, but whatever it is, honestly, a gift is a gift, and so even those days, you see those men of old that they didn't know how to say, I love you, but they're taking care of their wives. They go to the farm, the farm, they bring the farm product, the wife wants to work too hard. Most of those men then, when they work like 10 hours or 8 hours, when their wives work for 5 hours, they begin to tell her to go home. They begin to tell her to go home. They usually come after their wives have come. So that's a way to care for your wife. A way to do, even though sometimes they want to marry a junior wife so as not to stress the first wife. That's not the way to show care. But the thing is, they care for their wives. So everybody, I have a neighbor. I'm not my direct neighbor, but this one, we live in the same place. And the man is probably like over 90, obviously. And the wife too should be in her late 80s and 90. She doesn't see well. And the man too cannot walk well. He has a little bit of hunchback. But you see both of them every day walking at this resort. You see them in the morning when if I want to go to the gym or I want to walk, you see them holding each other, even at that age, even in their 90s. They still care for one another. As I said, I think it was last week of a man that I saw was carrying when the wife went to the shoe store. The shoe store was just for ladies. And so probably she's going to buy some shoes. They'll be in their 80s or 90s as well. And the man was the one that carried the whole thing. I was going after the woman, so it doesn't matter, for you to say Africa does not have love language. Everybody have love language. Don't just discover that. And then he said, if I touch my husband, he wants sex. Most time, well, you didn't tell us where you touch, so like I said, a man will respond to things like that, and a man is always ever ready. And so if you, sometimes my husband will say things like, oh, don't start what you cannot complete. When I hear that, I make up my mind, do I want to complete this? So if your husband is saying don't complete, you can as well start educating him about, oh yeah, there's nothing wrong in us holding hands. Maybe your love language is touch. If your love language is touching and so on, that does not mean sex. So you may need to explain better to your husband, or maybe before you start touching, maybe you want to lean on him and so on. You can tell him, oh sweetheart, this is just an honest touching, and if God give you the grace after touching, there's room for more. Why not? If not, both of you should be able to enjoy yourself as husband and wife. The third question said, my fiance and I have decided to abstain from sex till we get married. We're trying, but it's becoming more difficult, and we really want to honor God. So this is probably couples that are not married yet. I want to say that it's a good thing. It's a good thing. The Bible said in Hebrews chapter 13, it said marriage is honorable, the bed undefiled. I've shared my testimony, like several times. I was into relationship, sex was involved. That relationship got broken. Another relationship, sex was involved. Even though I didn't want to do it, I wanted to honor God. But then you want to please this person because you're having low self-esteem, and you feel that you have to make the person happy because you don't deserve them making you happy unless you make them happy. And so that was the situation then. And eventually, of course, I gave myself back to God and everything. And I said, you know what? I want to honor God. I want to honor God in this relationship. And then I even realized all the relationships that I was having that were breaking, sex was involved. So I said, okay, I'm going to do something else this time around if I want to stay in a relationship. Let me see how it's going to work. So when I met my husband, and I told him, I said, this relationship, one thing that is not going to be in it is sex. And so he said, yeah, he's a Christian, Men always believe that they can do it until they realize that it's difficult to do it, but it's possible. And we had our struggle. Every relationship like that will have your struggle. If you want to honor God, number one, the devil is not going to stay and watch you just honor God. There's always going to be a fight, whether it's about sex or not. And this one, we wanted to honor God. So we met in February, relationship was going well, March, April. By the time the relationship was getting to May, and my husband started saying, okay, why don't we, we can marry this year. He had proposed, and he was like, we can marry this year. We first thought, I think we thought December, I can't remember. And then, when the pressure was getting much, it was like, why not in October, around your birthday? I'd really like to honor you with it. I was like, okay, and we had our struggle, but we kept telling ourselves we had to do this. And so I want to say to you, and that relationship eventually ended in marriage, obviously, and is blessed with 3 children. I want to say to you, if you really want to honor God with it, I believe in that so much. It's not about what the society is saying. It's not about what anybody is saying. No, I'm not condemning anybody that feel like, this is not the way I want to go. No, I don't condemn anybody, but that's the word of God. Holiness is of God. And so I want to encourage you, stay with it. Long relationship brings a whole lot of issues. I got married 9 months after I met my husband. Maybe that's not the route you need to go through. I have a friend, the husband has come up on this program before. They actually met on the phone. That was several years ago. That was like 32, 33 years ago. There was no mobile phone then. It was a normal phone. He had gone to visit a family, I think in Ghana, and they were talking about, oh, there's this lady, she's nice, oh, she's a beautiful girl, she's my niece and everything. So he got the number of the niece. And that's why I used to tell people there's nothing wrong in introducing people to themselves. You have a lot of young people around you. Maybe you're watching, you have young people around you. And this one is not married, the girl is not married, the girls are not married, the boys are not married. Why don't you invite both of them? I mean, just prayerfully invite a single brother and another single sister, invite them to your marital home for dinner. Let them be able to chat. Let them, who knows what God can do from that. We don't have to say, oh, it has to be this way, the way they must meet on their own. People may not meet on their own until God uses us to help them. And so that was what these people did. And so these people met and they started talking, and the husband started talking to my friend. They started talking on the phone, and eventually they decide to meet. But before they met, the guy proposed. He's a pastor now. He proposed to the wife on the phone, and the wife agreed. But because they have talked and she could see that this guy loved God, I mean, not just pretending, she could bear the witness in her spirit, and they met. When they met, she had always been like, oh, I don't want to marry a man that is ugly. That was her thing. Everybody have their own thing. The fact that you're a Christian does not mean you don't have things. I've had pastors saying, oh, it's not about beauty. The woman can be anything and good. When you see the pastor's wife, you see her beautiful. If it's not about beauty, maybe it shouldn't have happened for you that way. But that's actually the thing, though, on a serious note. It's not only about beauty. No. Character is more important than beauty, anytime, any day. But they met and they were excited. He came visiting, they were excited. And in less than 1 month, both of them went to marry. They didn't even wait for the real big wedding and everything. Both of them eventually married, at themselves. So, and the marriage has been 32 years. And it's really, I was with them this last Friday. We had a pastor's dinner, and they were there. I mean, they're a lovely couple. So sometimes just honor God. Just honor God. The pressure will come. Don't stay too long. You don't have to stay too long to marry. I tell people, I've seen relationship. I have a friend also. She's more like a sister to me. She got married. She met the guy. They've been like dating. They've known each other, dating like for almost 12 years, almost 18 years. Real dating. I'm not talking about the first time that they met. And they got married, and the marriage from the year one started having serious crisis. So sometimes it's not in how long the courtship is, even though I advise in counseling to at least stay 1 year. Do all the weather together. Do the winter, the fall, the summer, the spring. Have all of them, because sometimes some things that happen to some people during winter is different from what happened to them in spring. So if you see their spring behavior and you don't see their winter behavior, then it becomes a problem when such people get married. So you need to wait, but if it is of God and you have the leading, why not? If not, I want to say quickly to young people, sometimes young people marry and you may not want to have children for the next 2-3 years. You just want to stay together as married couple, enjoy yourself, love yourself, get to know yourself before you have a family. It's even more beautiful, so you can start thinking about a long relationship. For me, I don't see the need for it. If you are not ready, go sit in a place and be praying first. So that people that really want to get married can. But if you cannot help it, if your relationship needs to be long, so then let it also be, and try to avoid both of you staying together in the same place all the time. If you even go visiting, you can go visit yourself, take yourself out, rather do more of outdoors than you do indoors, because that will help you, to fight temptation. And then pray to God. Is God you want to honor? Is the one that gives grace. So ask God to give grace, and both of you have a plan for your future, not just saying, oh, we're not going to do this. If it's not about we're not going to do this, you will have done it before realizing. So watch, honor God, ask God for grace, avoid places and things that can help to trigger such when you're with each other. But whatever you're going through is a normal thing. As a person that is matured, once you reach puberty, is natural. The feeling, sometimes I say love and lust can connect together. When you love somebody, you begin to desire the person physically. So it's not that the desire is not wrong. It's inbuilt by God, but it has time and season to it. So you want to wait for the time and season to make things more beautiful. Then this person said, I think this is the fourth question. He said, my husband is seeing other women. I confronted him and he did not deny. How can we be intimate when the marriage is crowded? Yeah, I agree with you. That marriage is crowded. They say 3 is a crowd. In marriage, the third person is God, and is not really the third person. It's actually the second person, because the husband and wife are one. And then God is here, husband and wife are here, so it's still two with God. So when it's another woman there or another man there, is a crowded situation. So you need to be careful. I want to say this to all men, even to women now, because I hear all kind of things. Even to women now, I want to say to you, honor God. Everybody, we all have situations in our life that can make us misbehave. That's the nature of sin. The Bible said the nature of sin is in every human that was born. But then when we give our life to Christ, as we begin to pray, study the word of God, have fellowship with the Holy Spirit, we begin to take the nature of God. I was saying, I preached in church, not yesterday, the upper Sunday, and I was talking about the Holy Spirit. And I said, people will say, oh yeah, I'm created in the image and the likeness of God. No, Adam, before Adam and he fell, they were created in the image of God. But when man fell short of that glory, of that image, of that honor. Man was robbed of that completely. It's only in Christ that we can now boldly declare that image to say, I'm a Christian, I'm a born of God, or I know God, I'm in the image and the likeness of God. So we carry the human nature that wants to sin. Apostle Paul said, my flesh is fighting against my spirit. The spirit wants to do what is right, but the flesh wants to do what is God. And I say something, if God is here and the devil is here, if you move closer to God, you'll be more like him. But if you move closer to the devil, you become more like him. And unfortunately, sometimes when somebody has done something wrong and he does not seek correction or is not willing to accept correction, he is drawing closer to the devil. And very soon, bad thing is going to start looking like good thing to him or her. So you need to watch the direction which you're going. One of the things that I've seen in my years of ministering to young people is that I've seen the effect of parent, negative effect on parent, on children. Sometimes that little son that you love, or that little daughter that you love, like when I had my babies, I was looking at the, precious little boys and so on. So those little children, those little boys, or those little girls that you have, your actions today can impact their lives, either positively or negatively. When I'm driving, most times my children are like, oh, mom, why are you just so slow? You can speed. Other cars are passing by. And I will say, oh, they can pass by. I'm with my family. I do the things that I do because of my family. So we need to be conscious and have a purpose for why we're doing what we're doing. I've seen situations where a man is having a family and then is pregnant for another woman, got pregnant for you get another woman got pregnant for you get. What do you think is going to happen to those special seeds that you have? I've seen where the woman, children from other women, begins to have hatred, even to kill the children that you. I mean, a lot of things go wrong. The desire sometimes to sin will be there. Everybody have that desire, including myself. Everybody, every human being, whether you are bishop, whether you're whatever, I don't want to call names to offend people, but whatever title you have as a human being, there is no perfect human being. So those temptations will come. The Bible said in 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 13, it said there is no temptation that has seized you except that which is common to man. So it's common, it will happen. But you can refuse to yield to that because it has destroyed life. I mean, one of the things that shocked me the most is people coming out from such homes where such behavior have destroyed children, have destroyed all kind of things, and then you're growing up to want to start the same thing. That's not the way life should go. Whether you're a woman, whether you're a man, that's not the way things should go. And I want to say something very quickly. It's not just for Africans. There are things, some people have family covenant that is bad. You know, some people, they have money in their family and then later in their life, they don't have anything again. Some people, they have all kind of those, you know, generational curses that are in people's home. As not for us that are believers, we say, oh, we cannot with generational blessing. But the thing is that the Bible says, he that breaks the serpent, he that breaks the edge, that's the person that the serpent bites. That means sometimes if you break certain rules, then you can't say you are just a child of Abraham's blessing. You are connected to Abraham. No. There is a price to it. Sometimes immorality and some of these things are the things that activate the negative covenant in the family. Some people in the family, they just die young. And immorality, because if you look at 1 Corinthians chapter 6, there's a lot that the Bible talks about the issue of sex, wrong sex. Is so powerful. The Bible said every sin that a man commits, he commits outside of the body. But sexual sin is against the body. That is one sin that God also so tight, so high, like if somebody is committed that does not mean there's no mercy. I mean, if God can have mercy on someone like me and still use me, so that does not mean that doesn't mean there will be mercy. But the thing is that if you keep doing certain things, it's better you've done it and you realize this is wrong. People fall into sin and they have to rise up. The Bible said the righteous man will fall 7 times and rise up again. But living in it is where the problem is, where it has become a norm for you to have those other women. And sometimes I want to say bad company. The Bible says those bad company, they are the ones that are corrupting your manners. There are the ones that are corrupting some people that wants to live well. You just want to have your family. You just want to have peace in your family. I've seen marriages broken because of that. Beautiful homes that should be. Let me say something to us today. The best place that children can be is in the home. Home is where daddy and mommy lives. I know what I'm talking about. I know the pressure that I've been victim of things myself. I know the pressure that can be when it's just a single parent. With respect to single parent, yeah, I can relate with that. But that's not still the fact that maybe you are in a situation where you're taking care of your children alone and so on. Is good, you can. Maybe you're even a widower, you're taking care of your children. God comes in to give you that grace. That's why he said he's the husband to the widow. That means what the father ought to do, God is going to be doing it. Or what the mother ought to do for people that are widower, God is going to be doing it. Because God knows the importance of filling that space. So I want to say to that man, to that woman, please, extramarital affair is destructive on the long run. The Bible says stolen water is sweet. It said, but it soon turned to gravel in the mouth of the person that is taking it. That means, oh yes, it's sweet. Have sex outside of marriage. Oh, enjoyment. Have another flavor, like they always call it. But you soon realize that flavor is flavor after all. So I want to encourage you, please cry out for help. Ask God to help you, because sometimes we do the wrong things that we do. We can decide that we want to do this, but we cannot decide the outcome or the consequences of our actions. So because you can't decide, you can't determine what is going to come our way, you need to be careful. People have died because of such. It's not worth it. At the end of the day, even for women or men that their husbands are not with them, don't entertain the opposite sex coming around you. Don't. I've counseled women that are living in this country and in America that their husbands are not here. I've seen situations where a woman, the man is just coming to help. Oh yeah, I'm gonna help to take okay. Oh, you can take this other one or this other ones to school. I will help you do this. I will help you. And from doing that, the man having his own family, and from coming to help the woman, and they didn't know when sex happened one day, and the woman got pregnant. And the beautiful marriage was destroyed because of carelessness. If a man can help you as a woman, women too can help you. You need to be careful. Protect yourself. Intimacy, the desire for intimacy is general. Everybody, every animal, everybody wants intimacy. So you need to protect yourself. If you don't, I pray that the devil will not destroy any one of us. There are situations where such things have even happened. Such women are under threat now because the guy will keep saying, oh, I recorded you on video. If you don't give this money, I'm going to show this to your husband or show to the world. And some men are also being threatened like that. What is it? I've seen people giving their spouses diseases that has caused both parents to die. Is it worth it at the end of the day? How many minutes of enjoyment and then a lifetime of sorrow and regret? I tell you, it is not worth it. I almost lost my life. Mine wasn't even extramarital affair, but with sex outside of marriage, that was before I met my husband, before I got married. Sex as single or youth, you call it, I almost lost my life. It took two elderly women in their 70s kneeling down, asking God to spare my life till the next day so that I could go to the doctor. So you want to be careful. Let's be careful. It's not just for you. All of us, we got to be careful and do what is right. Then the last one said, my wife doesn't support my vision, even when I'm always supporting hers. Even though this is not the question on intimacy, I just want to take that too. And I want to encourage us, please, let's be supportive. I said something, marriage is about two people living together, loving themselves, caring for themselves, and helping themselves. So I want to say to that woman, The Bible said, God told Adam, he said, I'm going to create and help meet for you. That's our first role as women. We help our husbands. We support our husbands. I don't know the circumstances with this, because I've also seen situations where the help is no longer help. You know, like when somebody wants to carry something, let me say I want to carry this throw pillow, and I'm using my two hands to carry the two pillow to put on my head. But if the other person come and remove, it becomes a struggle for one person to hold one time, because sometimes that's what happens. The Bible didn't say wives carry the responsibility. It says support, help, you know. So if you want, I've seen people that said, I'm going to use music, but that's not limited to it. It's in everything. Oh, that's what I want to do. A man is saying, you know, my vision is just to sing. You are not singing yet. Money is not coming yet. And they are telling you that, oh, there is a cleaning job here. When after your practice, can you do at least some hours here to be able to bring food to the house or even pay some bills? And you're saying, no, that's just what I want. No. I've done ministry full time since 1985, specifically from 86. 1986, I've done full-time ministry. But I don't sit down to let somebody else just take all the responsibility. I'm ministering, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, and God is paying what He's supposed to pay. You can't just sit down, even when that dream is not materialized yet. Oh, yes, you want to do you've done this investment, it's going to take 9 months. So while you're waiting 9 months, especially a man, the Bible said, he that cannot provide for his family is worse than an infidel. Even though that's not all about money. Provision of love, provision of care, provision of wisdom, provision of godliness, provision of comfort. So there's a lot to be provided. You know, so you don't leave your wife to do everything, even when it's stressful and the neck is almost breaking because she's carrying so much load. And then you're still saying, support my vision. If that vision is only taking money away from the home, and it's not building the family, then you may want to, maybe you're taking it too big. Somebody said, can you eat an elephant? Yes, you can eat an elephant. If you eat the elephant bit by bit, maybe you need to break things down. But for women that wants to be supported and you don't know how to support, that's wrong. I say to women, it's not, once you both love each other, especially like you go marry each other, then you should do things for the other person too. It shouldn't be your husband buying all the things for you. Surprise him also. Buying things. Know the places. I know places where they sell men's things. When I got married in just Nigeria, where I knew places where they sell men's things more than where they sell women's things. Surprise your husband. Buy him a good belt. Buy him a good shirt. Buy him a good shoe. Make your husband happy. When I saw that my husband was going to be leading prayer in church then, I was making sure almost every week he was wearing a new shirt. I wanted him to look good and feel good. So there's nothing wrong in women doing that. And the men too should do the same. I want to say something again that I've been saying for the past 3 weeks, or it's going to be 4 weeks now. Intimacy will come when we decide to work at our relationship. We're not going to just allow relationship. I drove almost about an hour this morning trying to take my son to a camp. This was a place that I don't know. I tried to exit like 2 times. Like, you know what? I can't go through this road. let me exit here and then you can take Uber. And oh my goodness, when I saw the figures on Uber, I said, okay, let's keep going. And we kept going. And then the road, there was the sleep, there was the road where the mountains were there. You were looking at the other side, like if anything happened, this is a big ditch. I was scared. But I told my son, I said, you know what, let's do it. Let's do it. Okay, we have been on the road 30 minutes. Okay, we have another 20 something minutes. Okay, let's keep going. Let's keep going. And some road were so narrow, places I've never been is out of my town. But I kept saying, let's go, let's go. I was just like, so I said, let's start having conversation. We are prayed this morning and we're going on it. And I was conscious, even when I dropped him in that place. In fact, when we got into that camp place, it looks like a village that maybe I've been in Africa or something. And then I had to come back by myself. And I said to you, you know what? When you're going on the road, don't look at all these huge mountains by the side. Don't look at what could be a fall by your side. Just keep your eyes just on the road. Just focus on the road. I became intentional about things. By the time I got close to my town, I just breathed a relief, like, wow. You know, but what did I do? I had to be conscious about things to get the job done. And then this morning I said, well, that's why Nike will say, just do it. Just do it. I didn't know I could do it, but I did it today. And then I'm saying to you too, in your relationship, do the right thing. Just do it. It doesn't matter. You know, success in relationship is not just about both of you doing the right thing. Sometimes it just starts with you doing the right thing. There are times when you do the right thing and the other person is still not doing it. And you'll be wondering what on earth is happening. Why would this person still be like this? But it doesn't matter. You keep doing what you're doing. Let God see what you're doing. Don't be mean to another person in your relationship. Don't be revengeful. Don't. Learn to forgive. Sometimes you forgiving, it makes you look like, oh, am I a foolish person just forgiving all the time? No. Do the right thing. Care for one another. Show kindness. Show godliness. Galatians chapter 5 verse 22 talk about the fruit of the Spirit. When the fruit of the Spirit manifests in our life, not just what we say, not just preaching it. We don't want to preach to other people and be a castaway. No. Do what is right by the other person. And let God, that is the judge of all, be judge. But you know what? Keep enjoying your life. Keep smiling. Keep enjoying your life. And take a day at a time. Your partner may not be there yet. You may not be there yet. But take a day at a time. Somebody said something. I said it last week, and I'm going to still say it today. Most times there's the 20-80 rules. It usually applies to money and things like that. But a pastor explained that, you know, some months ago, and that really just resonates in my spirit. And he said, sometimes our partners are doing 80% of the job, but they're not doing 20. But we focus only on the 20 that they're not doing, and it makes it look so big, as though the 20 is the 80. If someone gets 80, that person has got an excellent mark. You know, but we focus only on the 20. So maybe we need to begin to write more of the things that your partners are doing good. And you begin to start from there and appreciate. No one is perfect. That does not mean if a man is having extramarital affair, you know, say, oh, I'm doing every other thing, but this is my 20. That's not 20. Extramarital affair on its own is like 80 or 90 out of the mark, you know. And I know if you're watching and you're saying, oh, you don't know my situation, even the 80, I'm not saying it, I know, but still don't get discouraged. Appreciate one another. Be grateful for one another. And if you're going through issues, please keep praying. Let's not give up on our relationship, no matter what it is. But if you are going through abuse in your relationship, please speak out. People say, don't talk to your family about relationship. Anybody that can save you, if it is life and death situation, please do not keep quiet. I pray that the Lord bless you and keep you. I pray that the Lord make his face shine upon you and give you peace. Next week is going to be next month. I'm so excited. It's my month stepping into the 5th level, stepping into the I'm just waiting for that. So but keep enjoying yourself and just remain blessed, remain happy. Send your questions, send your prayer requests to info@tolualabi.org. Today I just want to really appreciate all the people that are supporting this ministry. We have series of volunteers in different countries that are helping even the program to be successful. This program we have series of volunteers. I really want to appreciate them so much. I want to thank God for what they do. They are the people behind the scene that is making all this successful. I want to appreciate them. Next month, we're going to be having our conference, Life and Relationship Conference. We're going to be having Mama Funke Adejumo and other speakers. I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be explosive. That's the last weekend in October. Please begin to plan for it. It's going to be on a Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So please plan for it. Till I see you next week. Jesus loves you. And I love you with the love of God. Bye for now.